As Simon Sinek points out, many companies rely on manipulation to influence behavior in their employees and their customers. This manipulation includes price drops, promotions, fear, aspirations, peer pressure, and novelty, or the false use of the word innovation. Manipulation results in customers who are not loyal and buy from competing companies. Simon Sinek wrote Start With Why, how great leaders inspire everyone to take action, to show that people should influence behavior using a method other than manipulation. This method is inspiration. Inspiration can motivate employees and customers to support your company. Sinek tries to prove that if you focus on your vision, then you will succeed with customers and employees. Sinek asserts that if you focus on why your organization exists, then you will inspire loyalty. Sinek focuses on companies, especially those who are starting or restarting, and those who are declining. Sinek's target audience is business owners. Business owners should assume the leadership role as they are the authoritative figure in the business. Sinek gives advice pertaining to the mindset of a leader of a business. There are only a few examples in which he does not use a company. When explaining, he often refers to your companies and your customers. However, Sinek's ideas can be applied elsewhere. Sinek probably focuses on business owners because they are the most obvious application of his ideas. Also, many struggling or new business owners will buy leadership books in an attempt to educate themselves on how to lead their company in the best possible way. Therefore, he knows that there is a market. Sinek emphasizes the mental aspects of leadership instead of the straightforward physical aspects. Like John Maxwell and Stephen Covey, Sinek emphasizes the need to work inside out, so to speak. All three leadership writers emphasize the importance of changing yourself before changing others. Sinek only talks about a mindset and never mentions a physical how-to or any actions that you should take. He does mention things for leaders to focus on. For instance, Sinek says that companies should focus on those who share their values. This is similar to Maxwell's law of magnetism, which says that you are who you attract. Sinek says that companies should focus their marketing on innovators and early adopters, who together make up about 15 to 18% of the public. Innovators and early adopters are those who share the company's values and want to try every new product. These are the people who are loyal to the company and share or at least agree with its vision. The rest of the public, early majority, late majority, and laggards, will only buy something if it is tried and recommended. However, most companies focus on the majority. This is one of the few applications that Sinek presents that is not a mindset. The organization of Start With Why further shows this emphasis on mentality. The book starts by showing the way most companies influence behavior, manipulation. Then Sinek explains that there is another way, inspiration. Sinek begins to present the general idea of starting with why your organization exists and the mindset of focusing on your reason or vision. Over the next chapters, Sinek explains the details of the mindset and gets into how you apply the mindset both before and after your organization peaks. The last thing Sinek writes about is how he came up with his idea. This organization is easy to follow and deals with the most important things first. The most important thing, the first thing, is the mindset. Then comes application, and lastly, how Sinek discovered his idea. Sinek has a basic premise of his thesis. He calls it the golden circle, a play on the naturally occurring mathematical ratio. The golden circle has three rings: why, how, and what. The why is your purpose, cause, or belief that motivates you. The how is your unique way of carrying out your why. The what is what exactly you produce. Basically, you have beliefs combined with your actions that lead to a result, or your why and your how that lead to your what. Simon Sinek supports this premise with biology. A similar circle can be drawn displaying the human brain. The limbic brain corresponds with feelings and decision-making, but has no capacity for language. Our feelings, our purpose and beliefs, are part of this decision-making section of our brain. This is where our gut decisions come from. Rational thoughts and language happen in the neocortex. When we present facts, features, statistics, and information, we are communicating what to the neocortex. When we present feelings, beliefs, purposes, and values, we are communicating why to the limbic brain, which controls decisions. Therefore, biology proves that you should focus on your why, because appeals to feelings directly communicate with the decision-making part of our brain. For other arguments, Sinek uses examples after logically explaining his view. Every idea has a couple of examples to support it. Sinek often uses Southwest Airlines, Apple, and Harley-Davidson as positive examples. Sinek often uses Walmart as a negative example. Sinek provides examples for beginning to achieve success and after you achieve success. Sinek asserts that company owners often lose sight of their vision and start focusing on beating competition after they are successful. Sinek uses Walmart as his example. Sam Walton was very successful with Walmart. Walmart was well known for treating its employees and customers well. Walmart wanted to serve the community. Then, after Sam Walton died, Walmart lost that vision and became involved in many scandals. Walmart is now often criticized. There is also one law that Sinek mentions. This is the law of diffusion, which Everett M. Rogers used to explain the spread of innovations, and Geoffrey Moore applied it to marketing. Sinek uses it to explain the spread of ideas. Innovators and early adopters are those who trust their gut, are willing to pay more or suffer an inconvenience, and will buy or sell an idea that feels right. These people then pass the best ideas on to the early majority. The late majority gets the idea from recommendations after the idea has been tested and tried by many. The laggards are those who finally get the idea when the idea becomes common. As mentioned earlier, Sinek asserts that businesses should market to those innovators and early adopters because the rest of the public will only buy after the product or idea is tried by others. This is the only law mentioned. Other than this law and the examples, Sinek does not use many creative ways of presenting his evidence. However, he did have the opportunity. For instance, he could have used wordplay or riddles. As an example, here are two riddles that are not included in the book, but whose answers pertain to the evidence Sinek provides. I'm the target of your aim. I'm in every real-world game. Many hit me outside in. The other few are those who win. The answer is the golden circle. Another riddle is, often after you succeed, you forget how to lead. I'm lost or pushed aside, and who knows what becomes your guide. The answer is your why. Despite not using creative ways to present his evidence, Sinek does prove his thesis. His arguments and evidence are effective. His ideas make sense by the end of his book. His numerous examples support his claims very well, and the examples make it easier to connect with. The examples put Sinek's ideas in context. However, it is critical to point out two things, both of which Sinek mentions. Most businesses do not share a vision with customers. They only share the product or the what. A company can be successful without loyal customers, which our customers gain through focusing on why, but loyal customers pay off during an emergency. Sinek gives the example of Southwest Airlines. After 9/11, people were afraid to fly. Knowing that the company was suffering, some customers sent checks to Southwest Airlines to help. This demonstrates that even if your company is already successful, having loyal customers is good for the long run. The second point to remember is that usually the inspiration, or the influencing of behavior, happens unconsciously or without any rational thought. The customer is inspired by the vision of the company and so decides to buy their product or service, no matter what the competing company sells. There is no real reason other than that they just like the company. It's not that the product is better or that there's a special feature they like. Often, people will try to rationalize their decision. It is hard to admit that you feel loyalty to a company because of an illogical feeling. A quality that adds validity to Start With Why is the bibliography. It is not formatted as a bibliography, and it does not have a professional format. It is listed as notes, wherever Sinek uses a fact. Usually, the source is a news report or an official website or organization. The sources are all reliable, although many could be partially biased. Overall, his bibliography, even though it's formatted as footnotes, is reliable. I would recommend this book for any business owner who is starting, restarting, or struggling in his or her business. Although you must read beyond the text to apply the ideas to situations other than companies, the idea of using inspiration and vision as a motivator and reason to join together is applicable to any leadership role. For instance, at school, you should focus on why you are there. You shouldn't get hung up on how hard the workload is or how bad your grade might be. You should focus on learning so that you can be productive with your life and so that you can become whatever professional you want to be and accomplish your vision. However, I think that there are better books about general leadership than Start With Why. The general idea of Start With Why is applicable to all leadership, but the details the book goes into are specialized for companies. Also, this book is not a quick fix or self-help book. It does not provide step-by-step procedures for handling a business. This book suggests a mentality or mindset and provides a basic foundation for your leadership in your company. It is not better or worse than a book that goes beyond the basics, but it would not be useful for those who want a more precise how-to book on leading your company. Start With Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action is a wonderful book that suggests a basic principle for its intended audience: business owners who are starting, restarting, or struggling.